Allah, Allah, Allah. Who be with me is Minty Lou. How are you? I am dying of thirst. Hey, Miss Surly. Well, you were early tonight too, sister. And it begins. You wear a scarf around my neck when I talk to you guys. My neck fat. Maybe just a little bit too far away. Trying to get my new reader, I got my stand going here, but I'm trying to get it set up so that I could see which way I could do this best without getting in the way. No, go away. No, that ain't work. Hey, Maureen, how are you? Hey, Tara. How are you? Sorry, I was busy when you. I have a new stand that holds my tablet, and I'm trying to get it set up just right so that I can get this all done. What would we do without our BFFs? Now, Maureen, please help me with your last name. Is it Shigeno? I am horrible with names, so you're probably going to have to. Tara, I'm so glad you were able to come. So many authors don't have any support. New authors, when they come on here, don't have any support. I'm so glad you're here to help her. Shigeno. Shigeno. Okay. I got you. My last name growing up was Riley, but it's spelled the way the Irish spell it, Reilly. And it amazes me the people that don't know what that name is. It's better now that O'Reilly's Auto Parts has come up because we spell it like that. But growing up, my first name or My name that I go by in real life is Renee, and it's spelled Renee. And people would always say, Rennie, really? And it was Shigeno. 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 Okay. Yeah, it's my middle name too. My first name is Myrna, Myrna. Shigeno. Shigeno. Yeah. I do fine just trying to speak Americanese. Me trying to speak Japanese would really be bad. Shigeno. Okay, Shigeno. Shigeno is probably about as good as it's going to get. Shigeno. Okay, Shigeno. Nina is in the house, y'all. We can let the party begin. Those that don't know, Maureen, Tara, is it Tara or Tara? I said Tara because I grew up with Taras. That was like a big name at my high school growing up, but it was always Tara. But as I've grown older, long time since high school, I know that there's a lot of people pronounce that as Tara. Tara. Okay. And so, yeah. So Ori is Nina, my PA, the one that you guys got with to sign up. So, or Maureen that you got with to sign up. So, Shigeno. All righty. And it looks like it's time. And I'm going to go ahead and get started. And we may have more people travel on in. You never know. So tonight's book is called Corrupting Sweetness by Maureen Shigeno. And it's the first book in the Sweet and Sassy Duet. And this is the cover. So if I can get there. There's a good angle. Just have fun trying to get this at the right angle so the covers show up. And I'm showing you on my phone, even though it's on my tablet, because I now have a tablet holder. Whoop, whoop. And it's heck trying to get that thing on and off. So, all right. Maureen, is there anything particular I should read? Otherwise, I will start at the beginning and read for till about 9 o'clock. Is there anything particular, any particular scenes or anything you want me to read? It really is cool, but the part that holds the tablet in. Okay, I'll start at the beginning. Well, Nina, is there any place I need to start? But Vincy, the part that spreads open, is hard to do and put that 10-inch thing in there. Teddy, I thought you were going to go listen to Jay Morgan read tonight. Jay Morgan read tonight. I saw where you said you were going to go see him. All righty, let me go ahead and get started. So the prologue, freshman year Everly. I knew college would be hard, but I didn't expect it to be this nerve-wracking. I'm on pins and needles, and it's only been a few weeks. Chewing on the tip of my pen, oh, y'all, this is going to be hard because I have 2 hands to do stuff with you. I need to get Frankie. Put my phone way over there because I'm a fiddler. So I tend to fiddle. And then for those that don't know Frankie, this is Frankie. I'm not allowed per my boyfriend to have an indoor critter. So I got Frankie. Okay. I'm on pins and needles and it's only been a few weeks. Jackie! Chewing on the tip of my pen, I simultaneously study my physics textbook and scroll through the wanted ads on my phone. Both are open atop the metal table I'm sitting at outside the coffee shop near the university. I'm here on scholarship that covers only the basics to survive. The money I saved up working part time in high school is dangerously low. I can't really afford to let my grades slip by splitting my time between school and work, but I need funds. I was never great at school. I got by, but not without hours and hours of studying. I barely skated by enough to qualify for a scholarship. Surprised the hell out of me when I actually got it. Ecstatic, but surprised. I never had much support back home living with a mother that was more boy crazy than your average teenager and non existent father. We had no money, and I grew up knowing if I was ever going to make something of myself, I'd have to fight for it alone. Now that I'm here, it's more than I'd prepared for. The workload is a million times harder, and falling behind is easier than counting to three. Scratching my head, I frown at the job options. I don't have a car. Okay, I thought I saw you say you were going to go listen to him. Scratching my head, I frown at the job options. I don't have a car, so I need to find something that works around full-time schooling and within walking distance of the dorms. I'm coming up empty. Looking back at my textbook that I'm somehow supposed to understand has me groaning as my head falls on top of it. What the hell am I going to do? I whine to myself. Tears burn my eyes, and I have to lean up before I ruin my textbook with the water stains. I can't afford another one. Aw, she's crying, someone teases as they pass by. The group starts to giggle and laugh at my expense as I hastily try to wipe my eyes and duck my head. Don't worry, little one, a girl cries out. You can always go home to mommy. Yeah, a man says. I'm sure she'll still love a dropout like you. Seriously, what is she wearing? Another hoots with laughter. She looks like Virgin Mary. You think that by college people would have grown up a bit out of their childish ways, but not so far. I've learned otherwise. But so far I've learned otherwise. Studying my clothing, their laughter echoing in my ears, I realize the blue and purple dress is old fashioned with its button-up collar and button-up collar top and full skirt. But I had thought it was pretty when I got it from the thrift store. Everything I own is secondhand, as we can't afford them otherwise. Unfortunately for me, I'm surrounded by rich kids here. I let out a sigh as I bite my bottom lip and glance around the cafe to see who witnessed them bullying me. My eyes meet his. Landon Kane. Every college has a popular guy that girls fawn over, and Landon Kane is the top of that list. My face heats up with humiliation, but there's also something else stirring inside me as his dark gaze holds mine. He and I are on completely different levels in the school hierarchy, but as I look into his eyes, I feel like he sees me. And as stupid as it sounds, something passes between us. A connection I can't explain but can feel. I close my eyes, fighting to control my emotions, and to my disappointment, I find him gone when I open them. Resting my elbow on the table, I place my cheek on the palm of my hand to hide my face and turn back to my phone. I can hear the group of bullies still laughing behind me, either mocking another poor kid or still getting a kick out of judging me, making it hard to focus. My head jerks up as someone places a cupcake on the table next to my book. I blink through my tears and suck in a sharp breath from the man staring down at me. Landon's dark eyes bore into mine as if he can see into my soul, causing me to shudder. The sunbeams behind him, bathing him in light, making his dark clothing and mysterious nature even more intriguing than normal. Unable to form words, he speaks first in a deep drawl that caresses my body like raindrops fa- falling onto a flower. I think you need this more than I do. My lips curve into a smile as I take in the white cupcake with buttercream frosting. Blinking back more tears, I whisper, "Thank you." Try wearing jeans and t shirts. Makes you look less noticeable. And trust me, sweetness, you want to be invisible. You're not made for this world. He peers over at my phone, and they're hiring inside. He strolls away with his hands in his pockets. Tilting my head, I watch him go. I think I've just discovered one good thing about coming here. Smiling to myself, I pick up the cupcake and lick off a bit of icing. The sugary goodness coats my tongue, reviving my determination to get through the next 4 years of school. Either she keeps creating a new account. Jackie, we've blocked this Karen girl about 3 times. Can you do something better than we can? Chapter 1, Junior Year Everly. I've made it to the second semester of my junior year in college. At first, I didn't think I'd make it here. But as I got used to the challenges of my new life, dressing in more modern clothes of jeans and t shirts, keeping up with my classwork, and working at the coffee shop, it became easier to deal with. I regard Tristan Kane from across his kitchen table. When I first saw him 2.5 years ago, I assumed he'd be a self absorbed, stuck up jock who had more brawn than brains. Meeting his dark and mysterious twin brother Landon had me easing on those notions for a little while. Until Landon did a 180 and turned into the biggest douche there ever was. After that initial meeting where he kindly gave me his cupcake outside the cafe, he was never nice to me again. He was callous and rude anytime I tried to speak to him, hurling insults at me or muttering how much of a pain I was before shouldering past me. I kept my distance from both of them after that. It felt like a punishment when I was partnered with Tristan for a class project a week ago. Like I'd done something to anger the college spirits or some shit. I was sure working with him would be a waste of time, but he surprised me. He's nothing like Landon. Whereas Landon is cruel and unforgiving, Tristan is funny and kind. Tristan and I are working on our psychology paper. We have to write about the differences in the way a person looks and is perceived versus who they are on the inside and how people are stereotyped. I write down my assumption of what music he listens to before looking up at him and asking music preference. Tristan smirks, his dark eyes taunt me. Alternative? Really? I'm way off then. I giggle. What did you put? Please don't tell me you put something stupid like country. I like country. We burst out laughing. Tristan says, I didn't peg you for a country girl. I figured pop or something along those lines. I shrug. I like both. My eyes shift to the kitchen doorway as Landon walks in. My laughter fades and I duck my head as his eyes penetrate mine. The sense that he can see into my soul is still there, and I hate it as much as I hate him. He's nothing like Tristan, except in looks. They both have dark hair, scruff on their faces, and fit bodies, but their personalities are opposite. While Tristan is extremely laid back and fun to be around, Landon is quiet and has a mysterious aura surrounding his cold demeanor. I used to love that about him. Love the way his back his back his black clothing helped fan that get away from me vibe he had going. It just took me some time to realize he radiates it in the hopes of keeping everyone at arm's length. Unfortunately for him, it does nothing to stop the girls from throwing themselves at him. They still flock to him as much as they flock to his brother. He just doesn't respond to it. Landon walks past us without a word. Every time Tristan and I study at their house, Landon either glares at me or makes ridiculous comments under his breath. Today is my third visit, and it's still the same asshole routine. The minute I feel his eyes leave me, I glance over my shoulder at him. He opens the fridge and peers inside. Bent at the waist, I can see the lean structure of his lower body. My heart rate rises. I don't know why I never get like this when it comes to Tristan. And they look just alike, but the twin I hate beyond words intrigues me. Still. Hey, Landon, Tristan calls out. What kind of music do you think Everly listens to? I whirl around to stare at my books as my face heats. I can feel when Landon's eyes follow me. It's like a radar hitting my skin wherever he looks. The fridge door closes and I tense, waiting for his answer. He takes his sweet time, nervous beads of sweat build on my brow. I know he's going to say something cruel just to mess with me. He always does, and it's always hurtful. I jump as his deep voice whispers low behind me. Satanic. Jerking to the side, I narrow my eyes at him. Landon, Tristan sighs. Do you have to do that? And yes, I'm using the same voice. They're twins. It's going to be hard to. So, Vincey, eat it up. He shrugs while straightening and folds his arms over his chest. Or classical since she's such a goody two-shoes. I gather my stuff and get to my feet. I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe we can meet in the library instead and finish our assignment. Everly, I'm sorry. I don't know why he does this. He's not normally this rude. Tristan's chair scrapes across the floor as he stands. Apologize, Landon. No, she deserves it, he says. Tossing my backpack over my shoulder, I look up at Landon and square my shoulders. What did I do to you? You're here. He closes the distance between us until we're an inch apart, and I have to crane my neck to make eye contact. He stares down at me with so much hatred that I can physically feel it. I don't like you. Just being near you makes my skin crawl. Landon, Tristan scolds. Then maybe you shouldn't have given me that damn cupcake, I toss back. Damn right I shouldn't have. I didn't know you'd be like a fucking shadow everywhere I go. What the fuck are you two talking about? Tristan cuts in. Landon's lip curls in disgust. We're talking about how one moment of being polite makes women expect you to always be there groveling at their feet. She's not Casey, Landon. Tristan shakes his head. Ignoring Tristan because I really don't want to know what he meant, especially if it means getting sucked in any more than I already am by this family. I ground out, speaking to Landon. Trust me, Kane. If I still had that cupcake, I'd shove it down your throat. Turning on my heels, I march away from the man that drives me insane. And for the record, I would never be here for a dick like you. I come here for Tristan. I can hear them yelling at each other even after I close the front door. They live in a 2-bedroom rental house right off campus. Swiping angrily at the stupid tears that fall, I speed walk back toward the dorms where I stay. It's about a 5-minute walk, and the calm April air helps to cool my temper. I, I hate how often I cry. I've always been a crier. Doesn't matter if I'm mad, happy, or upset, it all makes me sob. My grandmother used to say it was because I had a big heart. I used to be that way. And then I think my heart turned into a Grinch and it just keeps getting smaller because I don't cry near as much. My grandmother used to say it was because I had a big heart. Being an adult that cries makes you look like a whiner, though, and I've gotten teased a lot about it. I let out all my tears and make sure to clean my face in the community bathroom before walking into an empty dorm room. It's no surprise my roommate is still out, probably partying like she always does. She's the complete opposite of me, adventurous and a bit pushy in a cute way. While I like the silence and late night reading, she reminds me of Tristan. They have the same easygoing and confident air about them. I know if it wasn't for our study session, Tristan would have been out partying too, like most of the other college students here. I huff and close my book. Thinking about Tristan causes my thoughts to drift over to Landon and his hateful gaze with words that are like being sucker punched in the gut. I wish I could ignore his comments, but he always finds a way to get under my skin with the spitefulness toward me. I'm making up words as I go now, y'all. Have you noticed? A sigh escapes my lips as I settle in for another sleepless night, thanks to Landon Kane. Chapter 2, Everly. What happened to you? Veda chuckles as I join her behind the counter, the amused grin and tilt of her head that makes her thick black ponytail sway to the side tells me I look as bad as I feel. Long night. I breathe out, relaying my defeat. Veda and I met when I first started working at the coffee shop during my first year of college. Since she doesn't go to the university with me, we only spend time together during our shared shifts. Even though don't know much about her, except she has no filter and tells it how it is. She's always been kind to me, and we get along great. She's pretty much one of the only friends, other than Tristan, that I've gained since moving here. Let's hope it works. It was worth it, Veda winks, smacking my backside. I jerk and stare at her with wide eyes. I can't help but giggle at her laughter. I shake my head, heat coloring my cheeks. So not. Bummer. Veda puts on her overly wide smile and faces the front, signaling the end of our conversation and the distraction of a new customer. Thank goodness. My shoulders sag with relief as I busy myself with refilling the pastries in the glass display case next to the counter. Something catches my attention. Not a noise or a movement from the corner of my eye, but something much deeper than physical senses. It's almost spiritual in the way he calls to me. Goosebumps erupting on my skin. As annoying as it is, I can't stop myself from glancing up at Landon whenever he's around. The need to do it is like an invisible force drawing me toward him. It's been this way since before I started hanging out with his brother, only intensifying with each word spoken between us. I glance away the moment his eyes meet mine, the hatred burning in them too much to bear, and for the life of me, I have no idea why. After that one time at the cafe when he was nice to me, and the few times I tried to speak to him where he shunned me, I never spoke to him again until I was paired up with Tristan. When Tristan introduced us, I greeted him as politely as I could, but he simply grimaced and scoffed at me as if I was a nuisance and walked away. I wish I knew why he'd changed so much. I take the order that Veda gives me from the customer in front of Landon, and as I get it ready, I find myself making Landon's order as well. His order never changes, and it's habit to memorize something so repetitive. Or at least that's what I tell myself as I pass over the man's order before going back to the counter behind us to put a lid on Landon's coffee. I place the bagged poppy seed croissant and large black coffee on the counter as Landon steps forward. Veda gapes at me and raises an eyebrow, but I ignore her and paste a tight smile on my lips. One poppy seed croissant and a large black coffee. My voice catches at the sight of Landon's smirk as his eyes connect with mine. There's something hiding behind those dark eyes filled with hatred, but I can't put my finger on what it is. Look at you, sweetness, Landon drawls in a husky tone. You are good for something. My face tenses and my nose flares at the audacity. Fucking two-faced prick. He drops his money on the counter, grabs his things, and heads toward the door. Reaching into the display case, I pull out a pastry and stomp out from behind the counter. Hey, Kane! Landon stops and turns at the sound of my voice, his head tilted in annoyance. What? Pulling my hand back, I shove the dessert right into his pretty-ass mug. I found that cupcake. The room fills with gasp. I'm not usually this aggressive, and the noise has me swallowing back my panic at the scene I just caused. Why does Landon always make me do stupid shit? I'm not this unhinged. I'm the level-headed one. Always. Landon wipes at the cake and icing, but instead of flicking it off his fingers, he eats it, giving me a once-over. The dark, possessive look in his eyes tells me he'd like nothing more than to throw me over his knee and punish me. Ugh. Refusing to back down, even though I should, and silently praying I don't lose my job, I smile at him. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you can come again, and don't worry, that cupcake is on the house. I walk behind the counter, tensing as the words reach me. It would taste better served between your legs. My jaw drops and my eyes widen in shock. Veda's laughter barks loudly over the few cat calls and giggles filling the cafe. I release a breath the moment he's gone, but frown at the mess I've made. I can't believe he said that in here, but then again, I did provoke him. Veda's voice is high-pitched from her laughter. You got it so bad. I hate him. I hold up my cupcake-covered hand at her. Look what he makes me do. But you want him, Veda taunts. That silences me. I can't deny it. I want him, but I hate him. How is that possible? He looks just like his brother. I'm not attracted to Tristan, so what's the difference? It can't be his personality. I mean, seriously? Landon is rude, callous, and not a likable person, unlike his brother. Tristan is kind and outgoing. Fun. Not Landon. He's all around unpleasant. So why do I want him? Staring at the door that Landon just walked through, I can't help but concede. Why? Oh, sweetie, she hugs my shoulders with a sad smile. We're always attracted to those we shouldn't be. She kisses my temple like a loving older sister and goes back to work. With a sigh, I join her, more questions than answers running through my mind as my heart grows heavy. Veda's teasing is a constant companion for my thoughts as I wash the dessert off my hand and finish my shift. As much as I love her, it's a relief when I can head back to my dorm room and change out of my uniform. I don't have time for a shower, so I grab my books and rush off to class. With only morning lessons today, I joined Tristan in the library after lunch per our agreement yesterday. We sit at an empty table upstairs next to the railing. My mind is still distracted by Veda's words, and I can't help but stare at Tristan. I feel nothing, not even a twinge of nervousness or uncertainty. He looks up at me and chuckles. Are we studying, or are you just going to stare at me the whole time? His textbook makes a clunking sound as it hits the table. Shaking off my weirdness, I pull my notebook from my bag and open it. I need to get my head on straight and off landed. Getting to my feet, I find an excuse about needing to find a book and walk off before he can reply. Wandering through the stacks, I'm enjoying the quiet and letting my mind clear in the hopes of being able to study by the time I journey back toward our table. The sound of moans has me prolonging my stroll further into the stacks than I planned. I know I shouldn't follow it, but can't help it as curiosity gets the better of me. I'm pretty sure I know what I'll find. Two horny fellow students making out. But I'm not prepared for my entire body to react the way it does. The first thing I see when I reach the bookshelves they're hiding in is a girl pressed to the far wall, her leg wrapped seductively around a man's thigh, and the twisted facial features of her pleasure as her fingernails dig into the back of the guy's t-shirt. But that's not what bothers me. It's the instant knowledge that the man facing away from me and holding her to the wall is Landon. My chest aches with heartbreak, making it hard to breathe, and my fingers clench into fists. He steals and turns his head enough for me to see part of his profile. The cupcake I smashed into his face earlier, now gone. Unable to face him and ashamed of my own stupidity, I rush away and sink to the floor in another space in the stacks. This one is empty. I don't think he saw me, which is a relief. I'd die of embarrassment if he had. Tears prickle my eyes as I hug my legs to my chest. It hurts seeing him with his hands all over someone else and his tongue down someone else's throat. I hold my breath and jerk my head up when I hear footsteps. It's embarrassing to be found crying alone in the stacks, although I'm probably not the only one that's done it. As if I can't catch a break, the person that walks by a few moments later is Landon. I'm at the end of the aisle, leaning against the bookshelf on the side he came from, with my knees pulled up to my chest and my arms wrapped around them, quiet as a mouse, tears silently slipping down my cheeks. He shouldn't have been able to see me as he walked past. Of course he notices me. How? I'm not sure. Isn't it cool when they start off like that? Chapter 3, Landon. Damn it to hell. First, she cock blocks me, and now I have to deal with her crying in a corner. I can't catch a break here. I want to walk away and ignore her, but she's like a beacon I can't ignore. I felt her presence before she even made it to the aisle of shelves I was at the end of. Everly quickly looks away like that will help. The sight of her tears is burned into my fucking brain. Does she always have to cry when I'm around? Remembering this morning, I have to suppress a grin at the memory of how she stood up to me. No tears, just fire burning in her brown eyes. I prefer that woman over the sad one I seem to get more often than not. Clearing my throat, I step over to the bookshelf next to her and pretend to peruse my literary options. Does anyone even use these books? I mean, the stacks are the stacks. I've never seen anyone come back here alone or come out with a book. I damn well never have. I cut my eyes to the entrance to see the girl I was making out with storm past without noticing us. Thank God, because I'm not in the mood to deal with her anymore. Fucking Everly. As soon as the girl is out of sight or hearing range, I sigh. What's your problem? I keep my voice low and it comes out as a growl, not unlike how it usually does when I'm dealing with Everly. She grates on my nerves. Little Miss Goody Two Shoes. A girl like her doesn't belong in a wild place like college. She angrily swipes at her tears. Go away. Why are you even here? I shrug. I honestly don't know. I can't stand her or the innocent look on her face, but I can feel her from a mile away, and whenever she's around, my eyes search for her. It's not something I can control, and it's fucking irritating. Silence fills the air around us as I keep looking at the books, pulling one or two out to flip through. She sits there until her tears finally dry up. It's not awkward, which is always annoying. I don't need any distractions. I'm here to learn and get laid when I need it. Women are all the same. I use them just as they use me. A girl like Everly would never understand that. Once she breaks out of her innocence, she'll be like the rest of them. I'm not falling for that shit again, ever. Everly stands and hugs her arms around her chest in a protective stance as she stares up at me. We've been back here for 10 minutes, not speaking. Both of us in our own worlds, but not in our own spaces. I cut my eyes in her direction with a bored expression. What? I don't get you, she whispers. Good. I place the book I have in my hands back on the shelf and walk away. She's fine now, so I can leave without having a guilty conscience. She follows me out of the stacks, and I can feel her more than hear her presence. Seriously, what is with this girl? It's like she's embedded in my skin, her scent enveloping me as the air around us thickens and my heart rate quickens with need. My brother looks up from where he's studying at a table. He smiles at me, but it fades as he notices Everly behind me. He furrows his brow. I give him a subtle shake of my head and continue downstairs. Everly's presence gets further away as she joins Tristan. I let out a deep breath the moment I'm outside and her eyes can no longer follow me, shaking off whatever tension she causes me to have. I need to get laid. Good thing it's Friday night and this is college. There are a million parties to pick from. Sex and alcohol. Perfect. Chapter 4, Everly. I place my books on my dresser and lay on my bed. Sweet relaxation. Finally. Or so I thought. My roommate, Cindy, comes barging in wrapped in a towel. Her hair is fluffy, showing she just blow dried it. She has a gorgeous ample chest, flat stomach, and flared bottom. She knows it too. What are you doing? She studies my curled up position and the book in my hands, shaking her head. Don't tell me you're going to spend the weekend cooped up in here again. It's party time. Cindy whips off her towel and jiggles her body while twirling the towel over her head, completely confident in her nudity. That would be me. When I don't respond, only everything jiggles, not just my boobs, my butt. When I don't respond, she pops me with the end of her towel. We're going out. It's Friday night and you look pathetic sitting there. Thanks, I mutter, rolling my eyes, but I'm fine here. I've got the perfect outfit for you. She scurries away to the closet, ignoring me. Cindy comes on strong and will push you until she gets what she wants. But when she's gotten it, she disappears. Sitting up, I groan. None of your clothes fit me, remember? Go. Have fun. I have work in the morning. This isn't the first time she's dragged me out with her to a party, and it won't be the last. Normally, I humor her so she'll stop nagging, but I'm really not in the mood after the day I've had. We're more like acquaintances than friends, which is sad considering we've lived together for 2 years. I don't know why she keeps trying to get me to go out. I often wonder if she sees me as a charity project for her to play with. We're going. Have you ever thought of implants? She sticks her head out of the closet to look at me. I shake my head, widening my eyes. No thanks. She giggles. Whatever. Here. Cindy tosses something under the bed beside me. Examining it, I realize it's an outfit Veda gave me when she was cleaning out our closet. I didn't have the heart to throw it away, even though I don't have the guts to wear the tight, revealing clothes that she does. Now I'm regretting that decision. Veda's clothes do fit me. I tried them on once. They didn't look bad, but I felt uncomfortable. The dress I'm looking at now is dark green, form fitting, off the shoulder number that barely covers my butt. One wrong move and it's ass ahoy. I shake my head. I'm not wearing that. Oh, yes, you are. My roommate points a manicured finger at me. Put it on. We're going out. She dives back into the closet for her own clothes, and I sigh. She's not going to let up on this, and I'm too tired to argue. Releasing a breath, I slink off to the showers to wash and put on the glittery dress. The sooner I get this over with, the sooner I can come back without her. Cindy joins me in something even less fabric than my own and dolls me up. By the time she's done, I don't recognize myself, and I hate how it makes me feel. I don't like being something everyone else wants me to be. My mother was always chasing men. I don't want to be her, but I feel just like her now. This is going to be a long night. After Cindy gives me a pair of her killer heels to go with my dress, we walk to a party at one of the sorority houses nearby. The shoes really are a killer. I keep stumbling and tripping in them as I try to keep up with her. It's already dark out and the party is well underway by the time we arrive. This isn't the first party I've been to. This will be the first time I've gotten dressed up in something so revealing, though. Hopefully, it doesn't bring me too much grief. Music thumps from the speakers, and walking inside is a feat with all the bodies milling around. All right, I'm already breaking out in hives right there. Too many people, and the music is too loud. I can't do it. Didn't like doing it when I was in high school. My roommate does what she usually does. Immediately sees a friend and abandons me. I'm used to it. I carefully maneuver through the crowd to the kitchen. It's been transformed into a bar with snacks and every booze imaginable laid out. I'm sure there are germs everywhere as large bowls of chips and finger foods are out for everyone to stick their hands into. They don't bother me. Just people. Plates are non-existent. It makes me cringe. I'm not a germaphobe, but I know what happens at these parties, and I'm not adventurous enough to eat something someone touched after getting frisky. They're animals. I doubt they wash their hands after doing most things. I pour myself a beverage in a clean plastic cup. The soda is meant to be a mixer option, but I try not to drink at these things. It's best to stay alert. I gasp when someone grips my arm and twirls me around, making me stumble. I keep my arm with the cup away from my body as I regain my balance. When it sloshes over the sides, it's enough away that it doesn't get on my dress or shoes. My eyes widen at Landon's pinched features. What the fuck are you doing here in that? He growls. I furrow my eyebrows, unsure why he's so angry. But what's new? My roommate brought me. You look ridiculous. My mouth slips open as an unwanted ache fills my chest. Why do his words bother me so much? I've never cared what others thought. Could my attraction to him be so deep that he affects everything about me? Oh no, I can't have that. I won't fall for a guy so he can change me and make me into what he wants. I'm not that weak. He takes the cut from my hand and sets it on the table. Let's go. Closing my mouth, I twist my arm out of his as he tries to pull me from the room. No, you're not the boss of me. Unfortunately, I'm not on stable ground and I'm on wobbly ankle killers. The moment I get my arm out of his grasp, I stumble backward. Landon reaches out for me, but someone else catches me before he can. The smell of cologne tickles my nose and the hands on my hips are warm. But what gets me is the hard tick of Landon's jaw. It wakes something up inside me. You all right? The masculine voice asks beside my ear. My body shudders involuntarily as his breath tickles me. I swallow from the menacing look in Landon's dark eyes as he watches me. Don't you dare. He bites out in a deep voice that has me shuddering with lust. While the man behind me can only get me to shiver by tickling me with his breath, Landon is not only making me shudder from a look and his voice, but he can ignite my body with desire like no other. I'm weak in the knees, and my breathing has quickened with desire. Looking away before I can't function when he's looking at me like he wants to teach me a lesson and own me all at the same time, I regain my balance and turn slightly toward my rescuer. Thank you. I'm fine. My voice is quiet and meek as my embarrassment is at an all-time high. The man leans down to look at my face with a smile. You new around here? I'm sure I'd remember you. She's not, and you don't. Landon cuts in. He grabs my wrist and twists to pull me away again. Please stop doing that. I blink, fighting tears. Ugh, I hate how often I cry and how any tiny thing can set me off. I pull my arm away from Landon and regard him with a frown. His jaw ticks, but he's no longer scowling at me. Calmer than before, although with no less of a bite in his tone, he instructs, We're leaving now. I don't think she wants to go. My rescuer comes to stand behind me with his hands on my bare shoulders. It's warm and weighted, but not that electrical shock I get from Landon. Don't make me kick your ass, Connor. Landon steps forward with an even darker look contorting his features than I've ever seen. Bring it. Bring it. There we go. Like I get that one deep enough. I have to do my chin. Bring it. Connor steps up as well. Squeezed in the middle, I shove them apart. That's enough. Please stop. Glancing at Landon, I tell him, I'll leave when I'm ready. I can handle myself. I'm not a child. Bullshit, sweetness. You have no idea what you're walking into. Bye, Landon. I take the guy he called Connor by the hand and pull him into the main room where everyone is dancing and hanging out. I know it's a bad idea, but challenging Landon is a thrill I can't seem to say no to. Booyah! What do y'all think? Think I got one more chapter in me? Why the heck not? Chapter 5, Everly. I normally would be fine with leaving. I hate these parties, but Landon telling me made me want to stay. I start to wonder if I made the right decision when I'm dragged onto the dance floor with Connor trying to grind against my backside. But then I see Landon's harsh glare from across the room and all doubt leaves my mind. I don't glance away like I normally do. I start moving my hips to match Connor's. Landon's nostrils flare. And again, I'm not sure if he wants to punish me or pin me to the nearest surface. It's then I realize my anger at his controlling ways makes me bolder and more daring. A smile curves my lips at the way Landon's jaw ticks as he watches us. I barely feel Connor and lose myself in the heat of Landon's eyes as they bore into mine. They travel down my body as my hips sway from side to side, rolling with the music. I've never danced so dirty before. Hands in my hair, then gliding down my curves like I'm putting on a show just for him. Landon stands with a beer in his hand, keeping me in his sights at all times like some kind of hired bodyguard. But I can tell I'm getting to him, and by the looks he's given me. When Connor bends to ask if I'd like a drink, I nod, coming back to my senses and realizing he's been there the whole time. My feet are killing me and I'm sweaty from all the body heat crowding the room. We walk into the kitchen where several guys are taking shots. They get louder as they greet Connor. I wonder where Tristan is since he's on the football team, and I'm sure these men play on sports teams. But I shrug it off. If Tristan isn't here, he's probably at another party and on a team a different team than these guys. I've noticed most men that play the same sport here are usually hanging out together at school and at parties. Want a shot? Connor asks as we step up to the kitchen island. One is set in front of each of us before I can refuse. No, she doesn't. Landon pipes in with a deep growl. Rolling my eyes, I make another bad decision. Sure, which is exactly what I would have done. I pick up the glass just as Landon demands, don't. He points a finger at me and shouts over everyone's chance for me to shoot it. Put it the fuck down. I toss the drink back like I'm a pro. God damn it! Landon deflates. It burns going down. I start coughing while Landon throws his hand up in show of being fed up, and everyone cheers after tossing back their own. Landon keeps going. You don't listen worth the fuck, woman. Connor passes me another drink, and I gulp it down, trying to curb the burn in my throat. My stomach turns at the realization that it's beer on my taste buds now. I cringe, but drink more to drown out the taste of liquor. I'm not a big drinker. I've seen what happens when you have too much to drink, so I'm always responsible. But my belly warms from the liquor, cradling me in comfort and encouraging me to do another shot when they do. Fuck it, sweetness. I'm done. Clean up your own mess. Landon shakes his head as he walks away. My night continues with countless bad decisions. I start getting nauseous after my third shot, so I stop. However, after more dancing, the beer doesn't taste as bad as it once had, and being thirsty, I keep drinking it. I don't see Landon again, but my head is so fuzzy, I don't care. It's nice to let loose and not have a care in the world. No wonder people drink too much. It's so much easier than dealing with everyday stress. I don't even question it when Connor leads me upstairs to a bedroom, or when he kisses me, or when he gets a bit handsy, or when I notice other people coming into the room. But I do start to realize something isn't right when he tries to hand me off to his teammate. I push again against the new guy's chest with my hands, trying to understand what's happening through my alcohol-induced brain. The three men in the room are laughing. I'm about to ask what's going on when I get shoved backward. My back bounces on the bed and finally panic sets in. Connor crawls over me while I twist and pull the hem of my dress down where it's riding up. No, wait, stop. They continue laughing and cutting up as they surround the bed, leering down at me. A scream claws at my throat, but my breathing is quick and uneven. I can't get it out. Please, I croak, tears pricking my eyes. Everyone, including myself, jumps when the bedroom door slams against the wall. I told your ass you were in over your head, woman, Landon bellows. He takes advantage of the men's surprise and muscles his way to me. Pulling me up by my hand, he puts himself between me and the guys. What the fuck is your problem? Someone says. We were just messing around. Yeah, Keith, because she looks like she's having a blast, dipshit. Landon snaps back. I suggest you three find a more willing participant in your sexual endeavors before this ends up in a scandal that has your high society fathers disowning you. Connor squares his jaw but concedes. She's not worth it. We can find someone better. You do that, Landon retorts as they leave the room. Connor turns back, pointing a finger at Landon. This isn't over. Damn right it's not. You started this and I'm damn well going to finish it. My muscles sag the moment Connor leaves the room. I plop down on the bed, unable to hold myself up. My heart is beating out of my chest, and I place a hand over it like it will hold it in. I stiffen as Landon turns to face me, a look of rage contorting his features like it did earlier. Now that that's out of your fucking system, can we leave? Dipping my head, I nod. Landon grabs my hand and drags me from not only the room, but the house. He gripes the whole 5-minute walk back to the dorms. Are you insane? I told you something bad would happen. A defensive retort burst out of me. No, you didn't. He kind of did, but I was so worried about one-upping him, I fucked up. He glares at me over his shoulder. What part of don't you dare and don't drink that shit did you not understand? He trudges on, still pulling me with my hand in his. I have to grab onto his arm to steady myself every so often because of these heels. He doesn't complain. Not about that anyway. He slows down for a second so I can get my balance back and then picks up speed again with his long strides. It's hard to keep up with his pace with him being taller, angrier, and not wearing heels like I am. You made stupid ass, naive choices and ruined my night. Thanks for that, by the way, he bites out. I'm sorry. My voice is anything. Oh, I'm sorry. My voice is anything but apologetic. I know I was wrong, but he irks me so much that I can't help fighting back. I can tell. He comes to a stop in front of my building and narrows his eyes at me. You have no idea what life is about or how to handle the dumbass situations you get yourself into, sweetness. You almost got gangbanged. So, do us both a favor and take your ass back to wherever the hell you came from because you can't hack it here. And I'm sick of dealing with you. The resounding slap of my palm connecting with his cheek vibrates off the brick building. My hand stings, but my eyes are wide with the realization I just hit someone. I've never done that. He saved me and I hit him. Guilt gnaws at my insides. Landon doesn't react as I expect. He doesn't even yell at me anymore. He simply stares at me before finally turning and walking back the way he came. I watch him go, feeling lower than low. I made a million bad decisions tonight, even though I usually pride myself on how level-headed and responsible I am through the chaos of college life. And now I've screwed that up. I was almost raped, for crying out loud. And for what? A fucking boy. I've turned into my worst nightmare, a woman that loses her head over a guy. Shaking my head, I walk into the building and upstairs to my room. It's way later than I ever stay out, and after a pat down, I realize I forgot my key. Silently praying my roommate has returned, I try the doorknob. Laying my forehead on the door once I know it's locked, I try knocking. Placing my ear on the door, I'm greeted with the sounds of giggles and moans. Crap. She brought a guy with her, and she's not going to let me in. I can tell by how she's shushing the guy so I won't hear them. Ugh, my life is crap. Taking off my shoes, I slink back downstairs and consider my options. The clock in the hall tells me it's 3 a.m. I have nothing on me except for what I'm wearing. I can't call Veda without my phone, and I don't know where she lives. She's probably working her second job at the bar in town anyway, so there's no point in trying. The only other person I know well enough to ask for help is also the one place I don't want to go. I make my way there even though I'm dreading it. I can only hope Landon is at home. The night is calming down, so it's quiet as I walk around. It's eerie. I can't help but be jumpy and skittish. I get to the house quickly and out of breath. From the street, I only see one light on inside. I know that Tristan's room is the left and Landon's is to the right from watching them go up the stairs when I visit. I'm relieved to see that the one on is coming from Tristan's room. Taking a deep breath, I go up to the house and knock on the door. I wait with bated breath for someone to open. Please be Tristan, please be Tristan, I mutter to myself as I listen to the footsteps on the other side. My breath rushes out and my shoulders sag the moment Tristan answers. He blinks at me and glances down my body. I'm sure I look a mess. Smeared makeup and mussed hair from the long night, bare feet, shoes in hand, and an outfit that is so short I can feel air over the bottom of my butt cheeks. Damn, Everly. Tristan chuckles under his breath. Interesting night. Relief, guilt, and frustration over the night, the entire day, really come flooding out in the form of tears. I'm so sorry. I have nowhere else to go. My roommate locked me out. Landon's a douche, and I look like a slut, so I was treated like one. Jesus, honey. Tristan reaches out to touch me, but I flinch. I'm not sure why I do it, but he doesn't make a big deal out of it, just motions for me to come inside. Calm down. Don't cry. I can't handle crying. I let out a giggle as his panic and sniffle. I can't help it, or I would stop. Fair enough. He shuts the door and guides me to the stairs, careful not to make physical contact. I'll give you some clothes and you can shower. Afterwards, you're going to have to tell me what the hell happened because this sounds better than my night. I changed the subject back to him, hoping he'll forget he asked. What did you do? Went to a bar with some friends and got shot down. I laughed despite my tears. Has that ever happened? No. Women love me. I glanced to the right at the top of the stairs. Landon's door is closed. I wonder if he heard us. Surely not. He would have come out or not. Hell if I know. He makes no sense to me. 1 minute he's a dick and the next he's saving me. Men are confusing. At least Landon is. Tristan doesn't seem so complicated. He's not here, Tristan tells me, if that's what you're worried about. Good, I mutter, but disappointment still creeps in, causing my heart to sink. Now I'm done, because if you can hear my voice is starting to crack. All right, so Nina's done posted all that on there, and it's on KU and all that fun stuff. Thank you, Maureen, for letting me read it. That's a fun book. I like that. It's an easy book. It flows good. I like the characters. Yeah, that's a good book. So, tomorrow night, actually, somebody, because I done forgot. You guys know I'm horrible at this. This is weird. I mean, I like having this up here so that I can read. But it's weird kind of dealing with it. Oh, snap. I don't have my sheets downloaded on there yet. I need to do that. So, for those that didn't see, there's the cover. Whoop, whoop. And tomorrow night, Nina and I just went over this earlier today. Ashley Rostek, I think is how you say her name. I should know by now. I'm not any good. And I'm reading Endure the Pain, the first book in the Mara Quinn series. So everybody be here at 8 tomorrow night. You're going to piss them off. Maureen, you're going to piss them off. Oh, I think Nina had her hot flash kit ready to go anyway because she thought it was going to get dirty tonight. That's funny. All right, ladies. You guys have a great evening, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Happy reading.